When England's footballers stopped their match in Bulgaria in October because of racist chanting, it was a sign of how far we have come in the fight against racism in football, and a stark reminder of how much work there is still to do. For the past 25 years, one man has been at the forefront of that fight, changing the rules, changing attitudes, and trying to change the game. This is the story of Lord Ouseley.
Some unsavoury barracking of the black players from certain sections of the crowd, which says nothing for their sportsmanship at all. On for Regis. Oh!
When I was on the pitch, I heard everything.
You heard every chant, and every racial chant you definitely heard.
At a time when black players needed guidance, needed support, needed a voice, Herman introduced this organisation, Kick It Out.
I started Kick It Out in 1993 when football was just not interested in how bad the problem was with racism. It was terrible being a black footballer, it was terrible being a black fan, and something had to be done, and we took on the challenge.
Herman stood above and he provided that voice to many that didn't have a voice in the power rooms, in the boardrooms, in the higher echelons of the game. And he has consistently done that for the past 25, 26 years in football. Our terraces were angry places, they were vile places.
I was at Leicester City, and the Leicester fans were racially abusing other black players. I cannot for the life of me see how they can racially abuse other players and it not affect me. The manager had a dig at me. Bob, they're just very small-minded people. Ignore them. I said, you ignore them.
How do you deal with all that racism? I mean, not just talking one or two people. 5,000 to 10,000 people shouting, throwing bananas on the pitch.
We see the next generation of players coming through now, much more positive, much more open-minded, and much more prepared to challenge things that are wrong. And that's the sort of society we want to see football contributing to build and help.
If you look at what English football's done and where it's come over the last number of years, I think in some ways we are leading the way. We can't sit back, we can't say we've got it, because we haven't got it sorted out in this country.
What football has to do is to see it as a collective problem. It is a collective problem. Everyone should share in that because it's the reputation of the game.
It's been a difficult road because football didn't desperately want to change, and Herman made them, and he forced them through either collaboration or by campaigning. And I think without Herman, we would be much further down this agenda. And I think it's down to his bravery and courage and his compassion that's made basically Kick It Out what it is.
Unfortunately, Lord Ouseley is unable to be here tonight, so we'd like to welcome onto the stage to receive the award on his behalf, the Chief Operating Officer of Kick It Out, Femina Makar. It's a long way from the back there, isn't it? Thank you. Femina, we still have a long way to go, undoubtedly, but we wouldn't be where we are right now without everything that Herman had done. Tell us why you believe this is such a deserved award for him.
I think that for someone to have started this journey 25 years ago, to call people out, but also to want to work from within football, that was his vision. I don't want to stand outside of football and wag my finger. I want to work from within football. I want to move football from within the terraces, from within the boardrooms, from within the clubs, from within the grassroots. I think it's an amazing achievement, really. And look where we are now, but look actually how far we still have to go, really.
Yeah, undoubtedly. We do have a message from Lord Ouseley. This is what he wanted to send us tonight.
I'm delighted to receive this award. It is a recognition and an acknowledgement of a lot of hard work, but a lot of hard work by a lot of people. A lot of people at grassroots level who are working every day with young people, black and white, old and young, boys and girls, men and women, to try and make the world a better place through football, through playing, through watching, through supporting the next generation. I'm glad that I've been part of an organisation that's helped to contribute to that, that continues to contribute even though after my 26 years I've moved on, because it's such a valuable contribution it's making to our society. And this is an award which I think is due to all of those people who continue to do good do the right thing for football and for our society. And I'm thankful in receiving this on their behalf, and I take great pleasure in accepting it.
He's incredibly humble, isn't he, about what he's managed to achieve. So with the award, we have two footballing legends. The first, a League, FA Cup and Champions League winner with Manchester United, is Andy Cole. And then another footballer who saw the prejudice himself up close and personal when he was playing in the 70s and the 80s is my mate Chris Kamara. Come on up, guys. Cammy, let's just talk a little bit because, of course, as we've said, we've come a long way. We still have a long, long way to go. But considering where they are and indeed the terraces and the crowds that Andy played in would have been incredibly different to what you faced when you first started playing.
Oh, very much so, Shep. I mean, Lord Herman is a hero of mine. You know, for somebody to come along and change the face of racism in football like he has done has been absolutely amazing. Obviously, when I started playing, as you quite rightly said, there was no such thing as kick it out. I actually started at Portsmouth in 74, 75.
1774. That was the year I was born, Cammy.
And Portsmouth actually had a national front element within the crowd. So not only did they boo me off when I was crap, they booed me on to the pitch. You know, so that's how difficult it was then. So for someone to come along later and make sure that that didn't happen. Yeah. I know we've got to come a long way. And I know what happened in Bulgaria was, in my point of view, and for any of the players who played back when I played then, was the best thing that could have happened. Because England stayed on that pitch. They followed they went through the protocol, and they had every right. This is why it's split between black people as well, because they had every right to walk off that pitch, but they didn't. They stayed on the pitch. And older players like myself, who worked so hard for black players to play in the future, wanted those players to stay on the pitch. It was so important because of the fact that what we put up with throughout the years, the abuse, you know, Cyril Regis, you talk to him, you talk to John Barnes, you talk to people who played back then. And I know it's easier for the younger players to say now, well, we've got to make a stand. If you make a stand and you walk off the pitch, you'll get copycat every week. Every time England play and they're a goal up or 2 goals up, the racist abuse will start, they'll follow the protocol, and they'll be off the pitch. When the game happened between Haringey and Yeovil, the Haringey manager said 99.9% of the Yeovil fans in that ground were brilliant. But we walked off the pitch because 0.1% abused a couple of my players. Get those 0.1% out the ground. Keep the players on the pitch. That's what it's about.
It's see how passionate you are. You've always been really passionate about it. And it's a really important issue. I'd imagine, though, Andy, from your perspective, because Cammy and his contemporaries, they paved the way for you to be able to go and play at all these grounds and hopefully have a better experience than them. And kick it out was fundamental with that for you.
Yeah, they certainly have. Cammy talking very passionately. But when did you start 75?
No.
It was only 5.
Oh, yeah. No, hey, they've done a brilliant job. Watching my pioneer there, Cyril Regis, who's no longer with us, you know, it makes me think back to when I started my career and looking up to a player like him, aspiring to do what he done, you know, and I'm fortunate now to be on stage, being able to play football at a decent level, and, you know, and watch black players before me and after me, you know, but like I said before, and Kick It Out done a fantastic job.
Yeah, we are thrilled to be giving Herman this award this evening. Do please take it from us with all of our regards as well. Thank you very much. Cammy, Andy, thank you very much. Feminine Makar as well, thank you. Trying to imagine what Cammy looked like in 1974. Probably exactly the same as he does right now. Still got that 70s look.